broadcasting live 4 days a week worldwide
from the sunny beaches of Southern California.
This is ExtremeHealthRadio.com.
This is Daniel Vitalis from SirThrival.com, and you're listening to Justin and Kate on Extreme Health Radio. And I'm just here to remind you to rewild yourself.
I tell you what, Kate, it feels really weird only doing this show 1 day a week now, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm not quite used to it.
It feels very strange, like we haven't done it in a year.
Don't you? I really honestly feel like that when the music started playing a second ago. I thought, this seems so foreign and so familiar all at the same time.
I know, right?
Kind of weird. Kind of weird. But I wasn't really paying as much attention because Maggie was jumping up on me being a little New Year's weenie dog here.
So it turns out we didn't get rid of her, did we?
No, and actually...
she's changed her ways.
Yeah, we could talk a lot about that during the show, too. We've had her trained for... We're working with a trainer. It's been only 2.5 weeks, and she is a whole different dog.
We dropped the bully beat down on her, didn't we?
Yeah.
Just
take a pit bull, put it in her tiny space, and watch her turn around.
Recoil with the... Yeah, that was good. That was good. We had a good time with that.
That was good.
We're doing 12 weeks. Is that the deal?
12 to 16 weeks, but he says she's making such good progress. But man, we were just about to throw her out the door.
I know, weren't we?
She was just so naughty there at the end.
Very snarky and
man, these
not so hot.
No, yeah.
Well, we got our little bone broth here. Are you done with yours?
Finished mine. Yes, sirree. I'm going to make a bunch more today, boil some more chicken.
What'd you have for breakfast?
Vitamin C. Lipospheric vitamin C that we made for the first time. And then I had bone broth, and now I'm just kicking it, letting that digest, and then at the break, I'm going to go run out and come up with your new favorite concoction.
A little hot chocolate.
Ooh, little hot cocoa. It's freezing here.
Yeah, well, I mean, people in the East Coast and places where it's actually cold would listen to us and think, God, these people are nuts.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's for here, I mean, it actually was close to freezing, right? It was about 34, I think.
Yep.
Last night.
It snowed in the local mountains, like dumped.
No, that's pretty awesome.
One of my best friends said she wants to get together, but she's not sure because she's so cold she doesn't want to leave her house. So it's not just us not being wusses.
Who said that?
Robin.
Really? She just didn't want to leave the house?
We couldn't get together the other day because she wasn't feeling well, and she wrote today, she texted me this morning and said, I'd really love to see you. It's been so stinking cold. I haven't wanted to leave my house.
Oh my goodness.
And that's why we could have gotten together yesterday, but she was just cold and hunkered down, and I thought, okay, good. It's not just you and me.
That's hilarious. Wow.
Funny.
Well, we got a pretty good show lined up. We've got a couple email listener questions or comments. We've got some articles we want to share with you. 2014 recap.
Nice.
And some goals that we want to do in 2015, and maybe that will inspire you to want to do some of these your own health goals and things too. 2014, you wrote a blog post about that a couple of days ago on the 31st.
Yeah.
That was really cool. That was a good post.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I think what I need to do is part of my 2015 is to get my life organized to where I'm doing those audio blogs like I started out doing.
Oh, right.
I just got really behind, and now I have like 45 to catch up on, so I'm not sure if that's going to happen. But from now on, I thought, it's good to speak it as well as write it.
Yes.
Have the thoughts come through you and put them down on paper or online or whatever, and then actually kind of recap it and speak it out into fruition or just to kind of sit with it a bit.
Yeah.
So, 2014 was quite a good year for me.
Yeah, 2014. A lot happened for us in 2014, that's for sure.
It did. We talked a lot about that on our last free-for-all, too.
Yeah.
If anyone wants to get detailed, they can. That was
quite a journey for us.
Was, huh?
Yeah, I just... a lot of people on Facebook are saying, oh, 2014 was horrible, bring on 2015.
Right?
But we had a great year for 2014, I thought.
Yeah, you know what I'm realizing with that kind of stuff is not to feel guilty. Because my first inclination being an empath is to be like, oh, man, well, maybe mine wasn't that great. Maybe I had some, of course I did have some hardships, and it wasn't all just like roses and, chocolate, but
Yeah.
there was time. I don't know. Those are two things that girls love. So
Yeah, right.
apparently stereotypical, but I do love both those things. But I thought, why should, we're not shoving it in anybody's face, and we're not saying, oh, look at me, my year was fabulous. But, we've had hard years like that these other people are going through right now. And I'm just really, really grateful that 2014 was pretty decent for us.
Yeah. It started off with a trip to the Dominican Republic, which was a pretty awesome experience. Did some cleansing and detoxification there. That was a lot of fun. Going to Florida.
I love Florida. I'd never been to Florida in my entire life.
Yeah, that was fun.
neat.
And what else did we do? Oh, we went to Dr. Nunley.
Yeah.
And had our root canals taken out.
Uh-huh.
You had one root canal taken out. I had two, I think, right?
You had two, yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Unfortunately.
Dr. Nunley, for those that don't know, is a biological dentist out in Marble Falls, Texas. And we went there. I just about fell over.
Why?
Because we went. It was a year ago, right?
It was March.
Almost a year ago. Gosh, time flies.
It does, huh?
That was just amazing. So we went to him, and if you don't know anything about biological dentistry and the importance of it, there's a whole dental section on the website, so you can check that out and listen. We've interviewed a handful of people about. I think Dr. Nunley's been on twice, and he's our dentist. And there's been a handful of people that we've talked about.
Allison Adams.
This biological dentistry is a huge issue, and I think that for anyone who has any health issues going on, I suspect that would be the first place you'd want to really want to get right, because we talk about all the time. We're talking about cleansing yesterday, you and I, and you're saying, well, what good is it to do a cleanse if you're just going to go expose yourself to more toxins? So if you have these fillings, mercury fillings in your mouth, and the cavitations and the root canals, these things are really damaging your health.
Yeah, because we were chatting about it yesterday, because we're dying to do a cleanse in the within, I think, a month from now or 3 weeks from now.
Yeah. And
I thought, we were going to order it yesterday and just start it this week when we got it, but I thought, gosh, I have 2 more weeks of doing hair. I was supposed to be done by the 31st, but
right.
for purposes of handing over my clientele to a friend of mine, I'm lingering for 2 more weeks. So
right.
I thought, why do a cleanse though, and then go in the next 2 Saturdays and just have all that stuff come back into me? It just didn't make much sense. So
yeah.
There is some, I think, rhyme or reason to kind of starting at the base, getting clear out as much as you can, and then try to maintain that instead of, because I do think if you are starting out, my poor brother, he was here for Christmas from Austin visiting, and the kid has I don't know, I don't want to speak bad things toward him. I'm trying to be more careful with my languaging, but he doesn't have the best mouth teeth situation going on.
Yeah, there you go. That's NLP.
Thank you.
His teeth are less than amazing.
His teeth are less than amazing. Less than perfect.
Sounds so funny to say it like that.
I know, but it's true. And we took him with us to see Dr. Nunley, and he really needed a ton of work, and he's younger than me. He doesn't have a lot of money. He's in school. And I remember talking to my dad about it and showing him all the stuff that Dr. Nunley suggested to get my brother, because my brother's immune system is just shot. That kid gets sick every month.
Yeah.
It's horrible. And I'm thinking, I'm not blaming the mouth, but the more I learn about the mouth and the teeth and the reflection of the organs and just the overall health, I really do think that is the root of. You know what's funny?
I think so too.
I was driving around yesterday, I wasn't driving around. I didn't get in the car yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
I was walking around New Year's Day.
Looky look.
The whole goal was to not get in a car, and I think I pretty much succeeded.
Did you?
I did.
Nice.
Half of the day before. Oh, no. I bought avocados. Shoot. I broke it at 6 o'clock. I had to drive 2 blocks to get avocados because it was cold.
Can you make it today?
Sure. No. I have to go to my mom and dad.
Oh, bummer.
But I was walking around thinking, isn't it funny that I feel like the root of our health is in our mouth, and our mouth's the only thing that really has roots.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of weird, huh?
That's interesting.
Like your root health?
Yeah.
That seems to be where you're rooted, in your mouth. Isn't that kind of funky when you think about it?
Doctors will say that. Biological doctors, dentists who know what they're doing will say exactly that. They say that all disease, a lot of people say all disease begins in the colon, but the colon reflects to the mouth. And we've had Dr. Bob Marshall on, Dr. Stuart Nunley. Who else have we had on? What is his name? Dr. Bob Dowling. just a bunch of dentists, and they say that the root cause. I think it can go a little bit deeper actually than the mouth. I think it gets into emotions and trauma and stuff like that. But in terms of physical, I think it does. Like you said, it's the root. I think it starts in the mouth, and then and then the colon's directly affected, and then people say disease begins in the colon, but I think you can go two levels above that. I mean, I don't know if there's any way to prove the other two things, but I suspect it has a lot to do with your emotions, and then your mouth, and then your colon and your gut. So what happened? So
it kind of starts at the top.
Oh yeah,
it kind of like goes down like a chakra system. Like it starts from the head and kind of moves down the mouth and then down into your gut. And then,
that makes sense. Makes sense. So what did you say about your dad or your brother? You gave all the stuff to your dad, and then
they didn't value it like we do. I people don't know. Mm-hmm. And, it bumps me out that they don't even take an hour to listen to Dr. Nunley, just one show. And I think that even if they're not going to go spend whatever amount of money, it was a lot to fix him up. It was like, $6,000 or something. Mm-hmm. But I thought, you don't value that until you know what could be possible.
Right.
Or what could, what could possibly be affecting you. Like,
right.
I don't know. Like, there just wasn't any value there. And that's really sad to me just because they're uninformed. But
would your brother have done it?
I don't think so.
Really?
Had my dad offered to pay for it, I still think he's had horrible experiences at the dentist.
Has he?
Like most people. I mean, that's so funny. I've never been bothered by the dentist. Have you?
I never have. I've never understood that. I mean, I've been times where it's been uncomfortable and your mouth's sort of, open, and you have those freak me out as those weird. What are those like T-shaped cardboard things they put in the back of your gums? What is that?
I don't like those at all. When they take X-rays,
that's what.
And
you
have to bite down. And you feel like you're gonna like gag, or it's like cutting into your gum.
Yeah, I never liked those.
It's horrible. Well, plus now, unfortunately, we know that you're getting radiated
from the X-rays.
Oh my gosh, right into your brain. But
so you don't think your brother would do it or would want to do it?
I don't think so. That's sad.
Wow,
you know what?
You know
what
strange.
It is though. I think it's a control thing because your mouth is like the ultimate. I think it's most people. Their control issues come out in that because when I have stress dreams, they're about losing my teeth or my teeth crumbling.
Oh, yeah.
So I can see how you're the most vulnerable when you let a dentist into your mouth.
Yeah.
To me, I don't know. I guess I'm just open and I don't really care. And I'd rather have anything done in my mouth versus any other kind of thing on my body. Bad. Like, I know people that would rather, they say people would rather die than go to the dentist or public speak or any of those things. But I don't know. And I thought, gosh, that'd be so interesting if my brother was willing to do it and it was covered by my dad and he went and actually did it, and to see how his immune system would revamp.
Yeah, it would be interesting to find out.
I bet he'd get a lot less. I mean, the kid literally gets sick like once a month.
Does he during the winter?
During always.
Really?
Yeah, he's a sick kid, like guy. He's not a kid, but
that's crazy.
Yeah, right?
Isn't that wild?
It's just sad. It's like your own family you want to save. That's something for 2014 wrapping up though. I really realized and worked out last year is like being aware that I just can't save people. I've tried to save people my whole life. I did a lot of work with archetypes. Is that Carolyn Mace, I guess?
Yeah.
On her archetype site, and we can link to that. But yeah, I thought, my archetype is a caregiver, and it's good and it's bad, but I realize I'm always trying to save people. And, that's okay. Yeah, I'm glad, I'm thankful, but I have to learn how to harness my gifts in the right areas, because unless someone's willing to want to be pulled along, you can't just pull people along that are unwilling, and they even become resentful, or you become resentful, and
people have to look within and have the motivation. That's the thing I see at the gym. It's so funny. Like for me, I can't figure out. I mean, I realize that some people need trainers, but for me, the real magic is the real place you want to get to is a place where you motivate yourself.
Right.
You don't need a trainer. You don't need a gym. You don't need an accountability partner to come and say, hey, I'm at the gym. Where are you? You know what I mean? It's like, people have to get to that point where they themselves see the need for it. They understand why it's so important, and they understand all the ramifications of not doing that, and they're choosing life themselves. I don't...
It's like the teeth. It's your values.
Yeah.
Like, what do you value? Why do you value it?
Yeah.
Without anyone else valuing it around you, you know?
Yeah, because if I can't motivate myself, I mean, having a trainer there, it might help, push a little extra. But if I can't find the motivation within myself to do something, I'm never going to stick with it.
Right.
Because I can't have someone yelling at me at the gym or telling me what I need to be doing, or telling me, oh, you have to make liposomal vitamin C, or you have to do coffee enemas. Like, I can't, like I have to see the value in that myself.
Right.
And say, this is something that's worthy of doing. I value myself enough. I'm worthy of life and health enough, and I want to live, and I got something good to offer the world. And so I'm going to do these things because I want to live and I want to be around, and you know what I mean? So
it's funny what people hire. It's funny that people hire all kinds of different people for motivation. Really, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I value it because I think there's a time and a place for it. But you're right. If it doesn't ultimately come from within yourself, then you're just kind of spinning your wheels, and that's what happens with so many crash diets and workouts and all that stuff. Is the minute that you don't have that that person holding you, and there's nothing wrong with being accountable, but
no,
really at the root level, it's got to come from you.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So
I hear you.
Yeah, we went to Dr. Nunley in 2014. That was awesome. Lots of good stuff going on in 2014 for us. Just the show growing and helping more people, getting more access to helping people understand about health and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
What else? Are we missing anything? I feel like we're missing a lot.
Well, yeah. We talked so much about it last Friday. They might have to go back and
that's right.
Check it out.
I saw this thing on Facebook, 8 things to give up for 2015.
Ooh, tell me. Do you agree with it?
Yeah, okay. Looks good.
Okay.
8 things to give up. Ignoring your intuition.
Okay.
So you want to give that up.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to ignore your intuition.
Okay.
Saying a yes when you're feeling a no. How hard is that?
That's hard.
Saying yes. I mean, how often do we do that?
I know.
Is it possible? Well, this year you'll be more able to do that because you won't be with your clients.
And I've already said no to people that are kind of lingering on. Like,
what's that?
I knowing I'm quitting. I mean, it sounds silly, but I'm. If I don't want to see someone in the next 2 weeks, I've just said no. Because I know that I'm not keeping them long term, and they bug me, and they're really hard to be around. So no, I'm just like, oh, I don't have time, or I'm retiring, or nice. I've had more of a. I don't know, more motivation to just kind of say, I'm done. I don't need to add that. I've actually said no a lot. I've said no to a ton of Christmas parties.
Oh, that's right.
I said no to a lot of weddings. I've realized, I mean, you want to be nice and you want people to like you and you want to be like, you're honored that people are inviting you to these things. But if it's not adding to your life, like all the Christmas parties, it was just all drinking and dancing and just stuff I'm not into right now and probably not a lot in the future.
Yeah.
But it's just like, I'm not into that anymore. So I declined politely, but it's not where my heart is anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been a lot better. So I agree with that one.
That's good.
You've always been good at saying no.
Saying no.
You actually don't care, and you're just like, no, I'm not doing that.
No, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It.
That's awesome. You got that one covered.
I got that one covered. Ignoring your intuition. I listen to my intuition, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So 8 things to give up.
Too.
Number 3, allowing negative people too much time and influence.
Ooh.
Allowing negative people too much time and too much influence. Wow. So that's a good thing to give up.
Yeah, that's definitely been me my whole life.
Yeah.
Until now, the buck stops here.
Yeah, no negative people in our life.
Mm-mm.
Number 4, allowing negative thoughts too much time and influence.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a tough one because
Breaking
that's like
that.
you can choose whether or not you want to allow someone. You can just kind of walk away from someone or say I got to go. But allowing negative thoughts, that's a deeper one.
Yeah, I don't know how you do that. I'm working on it, but
yeah,
I haven't mastered it. I'll tell you what's really helped me with that, though.
What's that?
This sounds ridiculous, but it's those flower essences that Allison Adams turned me on to.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
The Bach flower remedies.
Bach and or Botch and the orchid essences I order them from Southern Herb. Other than that, they come from Scotland, like a little island. Is it Argyll or something? But my gosh, those things have allowed, they're not curing anything and they're not healing anything. What they're doing is they're like going on, like coming alongside you and almost like helping your brain to kind of, you're doing the work, but assist you in kind of rewiring your thoughts. I feel like the most peace I've ever felt in my entire life when I'm taking these things. Like, they're magical. So
what if someone's listening, like for me, like, you know, you're working with Allison Adams, Dr. Allison Adams, who's been on our show. But what if someone doesn't have someone like her to work with? How do you, is there a website you go and you figure out what you need, or do you kind of just know what you need, or how do you?
Yeah. So this is what she suggests in her book, which I love. Why am I blanking on the name? And I love it. The Cure.
Total Body Detox?
No, I've read so many books. Why am I blanking? This is embarrassing.
I'll find it online.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
The Natural Recovery Plan.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. My gosh. She talks in the back about how to kind of muscle test or body douse for these things.
Okay.
So these companies actually have cards printed out with all of the essences on them, and you can either muscle test by holding the card and seeing if your body is, you know, reacting positively or negatively to show if you need those specific ones.
So do you have to send a thing to the company and they send you cards?
Yeah, you can order cards online. Yeah, you can go onto their websites and actually order these deck of cards in order to kind of like test. And it sounds really strange.
These, they don't send them to you for free,
no,
right?
No, you have to buy them. Okay. And I think she said they're like $10 or something, which I need to do. And she's been so awesome in testing for me.
Okay.
But yeah, you can kind of, I mean, it sounds crazy, but you can test that way, or you can even test with like a little, like a quartz or a pendulum of sorts.
Okay.
And watch it, you know, kind of hover it and see which one it gravitates toward. And I mean, it sounds totally far out there, but every single one I've taken is spot on. But, you know, I also think I went to a physical health food store where they had all the botch remedies, and I held them. It's like when you start reading them.
That's what you're doing?
Yeah. Hey, what do you mean?
That's what you're doing? You look like a freak over there.
Why are you holding those little vials to your heart in the aisle for 20 minutes? No, but I did. That's before I was in between, and I needed to know if I needed something. And so I'm over there holding all these things and going with the sway test, whether my body swayed forward or back from it. And yeah, it was pretty unique experience. But I didn't want to get caught up in reading what was on the outside of the vial because they all sound so good. These tinctures, like, you'd want to take them all.
Right.
And the ones that I would have gravitated toward weren't the ones that Allison tested for me. So I thought, I don't know. Like, I still don't quite trust my own judgment.
So these things are going in, it's more of an energetic frequency type of thing. Right?
It is, yeah.
So you take a few drops of each one of them. I think we talked about it on one of our last shows, but you take a few drops of each a couple times a day. It tells you how to do it? It
tells you how to do it, but it's really interesting too, because beyond that, you can muscle test or douse for your particular body to see, you know, like somebody going through a major trauma might need more drops more times a day. There's a different protocol for people, but there's a standard protocol on the outside of the thing. But man, these things have been huge for me.
Really?
And they're really, when I had a break there with like 3 weeks in between without doing any, all these anxieties came back. And kind of like you were talking about the Facebook article of mastering your thoughts. Right. I had stuff coming up that I thought, this is insane. I feel like I'd gotten over this, and this was laying dormant in me the whole time. And the minute that I wrote to Allison, I said, hey, could you test another essence for me?
Yeah.
And she came back with 2, and I ordered from Southern Herb, and they came, and these were orchid essences. And I told her what was going on, and she wrote me back so kindly and said that a lot of times it's just old stuff surfacing and needs clearing again. Like, it's not like I'm going back. Because I thought, oh my gosh, am I going back to becoming that person just ridden with anxiety? Because it felt so horrible for a couple weeks where I'm like, I haven't felt like this since junior high. And she said it was old stuff just being like mixed up because it's on its way out. Don't give too much credence to it. Like, don't think you're regressing. It's just stuff that needed to come up in order to release. And
that sounds pretty cool.
Oh my gosh, these things, I cannot tell you.
So
we don't get any monetary gain from this, by the way. Just neither does she. They're just amazing products to kind of look into for people.
So do you take, I'm curious, like, so you wouldn't necessarily take them if you had an issue with your health, like some sort of acute issue, like, my liver's hurting, or it's more like, okay, it's sort of more of a general life sort of situation.
It is, and like she claimed, I really tend to agree with her. It's a very subtle change. It's a very subtle shift that happens in you. Like you're taking these, and they're very strong alcohol content. So you're just like, you just feel like you're taking these little alcohol drops, under your tongue. But within a couple weeks, I mean, it was so gradual. But I have to tell you, like, I haven't cried or wanted to cry. I mean, I started them last maybe September.
Wow.
And I've gone through tons of them. I've probably taken 12 different kinds for different things.
Wow.
And they're for kind of clearing tension and certain issues, and really unique. Like the one I'm taking right now is Walnut. I'll get it at the break and come back and read what it's for.
Yeah.
But I couldn't have tested for anything more appropriate for what I'm going through as I'm kind of wrapping up my life at the salon and moving on from that 16 years of that career.
Wow.
But I feel really stable. Like I feel like it's like a big hug. I just felt like I'm safe and I'm okay. And no matter what I feel, I'm not getting rocked by the emotion.
Wow.
And I'm able to change my thoughts. Like I'm able to stop something and say, no, that's a lie. And I'm not sitting with that negative thought.
Sort of allows you to look at yourself almost from a third person perspective, where you can stand back and say like, hey, I don't have to go down this whole road of negative thinking or like, anxiety or whatever. Yeah.
And like when you're meditating, which 2015 is my year to get better at.
That would be good for take right before meditation.
Oh, it would be amazing.
Yeah.
Because anything that comes in, how meditation, the point is anyway to let things not control your thoughts, but whatever comes in, just let it go right out. Like accept it in and then let it flow. Don't sit with anything.
That would be a good thing to do.
Oh,
before meditation.
I've been taking my 3 drops 3 times a day, and the nighttime ones I'll do right before the biomat.
Oh, you're just cloud nine.
I'm out. Like I'm not feeling anything. It sounds like I'm hiding or not dealing with stuff, but no, it's actually the most relaxing state I swear I've ever been in. It's like
That's
a trance.
Awesome.
But yeah, if I sat there and meditate, I suck at meditating, but we can get onto that later. But okay, keep going with your article.
No, do you want to go turn on the little stove so we can make our hot chocolate?
I would love
take
that.
A break and grab the Bach thing.
I would love that. I'll be right back.
I'm going to read an email here from one of our listeners. Pretty cool. SBS man said on episode 185, I enjoyed your interview and conversation. Thank you. A good book to write would be The Art and Joy of Coffee Enemas. The first chapter covers, I think he means a good book to read would be The Art and Joy of Coffee Enemas. The first chapter covers preparing the enemas and prepping the coffee, then a chapter on meditation, centering of gut nervous system, and lengthening the spine while supine before the enema. Finished a pamphlet with a section on explaining abdominal massage techniques and proprioceptive gut communications, along with a chapter on elimination of control of enema contents with breathing techniques and organ cell communications, and of course a section on sanitation and cleaning the anus, most important. 3 years of daily coffee enemas, and I look forward to each and every one. And thank you, Dr. Gerson. I thank you, Dr. Gerson, daily. I nominate him for sainthood. Pretty cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, guy wrote on
Facebook?
on YouTube.
On YouTube. That's awesome.
185.
Hey, we have to get back to our article, too. You didn't finish.
Yes.
Can I read this really quick?
Yeah.
Walnut. This is by Dr. Edward Botch. And it says, Walnut allows you to make or adapt to major life changes and to fulfill your ambition free from the influence of others. And these are called Botch flower essences for naturally occurring nervous tension, homeopathic.
So how long would that bottle last, do you think?
Well, I'm doing 3 drops 3 times a day. It's probably about a 2-week thing.
2-week thing. And how much does that cost?
It's $18.
Oh, wow.
The flower essences are like 25.
Oh,
sorry, the orchids.
That's not a flower essence?
No, it is.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's flower essences, and then the orchids are also...
Wow, they're expensive.
Yeah. But you know what? I tell you, what they're doing for me is just amazing.
That's so cool.
Yeah. Sorry to get us off track, but...
No, that's great.
Okay.
Number 5, sugary and... So 8 things to give up. Sugary and chemically laden foods.
Nice.
That's always a good thing.
Yeah.
You know who would be a good resource for that is the Food Babe.
Oh, yeah, Vani
Hari. And also there's a great program on quitting sugar called...
I Quit Sugar.
I Quit Sugar. It's if you go to extremehealthradio.com/quit sugar, QUITSUGAR, you can head over there, and there's a whole program that she's got for how to quit sugar and how to support yourself. Look at that.
Down the old hatch, under the tongue.
Doing a couple drops like that.
There you go. That's how you do it. Would you like to try one?
Sure.
Here.
Let me try.
I'll pass them over.
So just do one drop?
Mm-hmm. Oh, no, do 3.
I feel like we're like taking drugs.
I know, right? That's how I feel with the nebulizer with the silver. Do 3. Yeah, it's nice. Aren't they very alcoholic tasting? 27% alcohol.
Oh, my gosh.
Right?
That is wild.
I know.
Is that right? 20? Yeah. Wow, homeopathic remedy.
Yeah.
Wow.
For people who, Allison told me too, for people who don't do well, for some reason I do well with that kind of an alcohol, but not with like real alcohol. Mm-hmm. You can dilute it too with a little bit of water, like very tiny. Because I also take these homeopathic, really high alcohol content thyroid drops.
Oh,
called
okay.
HTHY thyroid drops. But
so
same thing.
You can dilute that stuff.
Yeah.
Here's a good one.
Okay.
Number 6, overthinking, which leads to over worrying. Oh my goodness,
Right.
that's a good one. So you're gonna give that up, overthinking, and which leads to over worrying.
Yes. I like that. That's number 6. Okay.
Number 7, over complaining, which leads to under appreciating.
Oh, I agree with that.
Over complaining, that would be a good thing to give up. So many people complain, don't they?
Oh my God.
We do too. It's we're getting better at it.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, yeah. That's interesting because when we get to the goals I have for 2015, I talk a lot about how I want to really be intentional with what comes out of my mouth, more NLP style. So,
okay.
Yeah, that goes along with that.
Number 8, fear of failure, which leads to fear of trying. That one's pretty good.
I believe that.
Fear of failure?
Yeah.
A lot of people have that.
Yeah, because you're afraid. Yeah, you become afraid to try.
You're afraid of what other people think about you. You're afraid of...
afraid of failing.
Afraid of doing something that you want to do. Not necessarily even failing, but maybe just what other people will think about you if you decide to sort of change your life a little bit or put yourself out there. Just people's reaction. But then, it's on top of that, if you step out on a limb and try to do something that takes a lot of risk and a lot of guts and things, you have people in your life that would see that because you're more of a public person now. And then if you fail, they could be the types of people that will say, I told you so, you should never have quit school, or you should never have taken this job, you should have done this like I told you, what are you doing? So that's a lot of, that's a big deal. Fear of failure. People
are very quick to point out people's failures too.
I know.
That's what doesn't help. It's like as if we're already not all hard on ourselves for the possibility or the actual failing itself, but people love to point it out. It blows your mind.
I know. It's
what is that for every point, for every time you point, you have, for every finger you point out, you have 3 pointing back at you.
Yeah. Yeah, we should look at ourselves more.
Yeah, right.
Well, we're going to take a little break. This is episode, we never even introduced.
Oh, my gosh. Episode 354.
354. So we've been taking notes. Actually, Kate has. So if you go to extremehealthradio.com/354, put any number at the end of our website. You just got to do .com/. You can get the show notes for any episode.
This is the first show of January 2015. It's January 2nd.
It's nuts.
It's fun.
And also want to let you guys know, I want to thank all of you guys for supporting us on Amazon. Oh, my goodness. It's been such a huge help. Huge. So thank you. If you go to our link, our Amazon link, extremehealthradio.com/Amazon, and then you bookmark that link in your browser, and then anytime you go to Amazon in the future and you use that bookmark link, that will ensure that we always get credit for your future orders too. And so many people have been doing that. It's been helped so much. So really appreciate that a lot. All right. Is that about it?
That's it. Let's go make our hot cocoa and come back and do all that.
I've got to go pee really bad. So I'm going to go do that. Go to Little Boy's
We're
room.
honest here at Extreme Health Radio.
And I'll come make the hot cocoa. We'll run a little break and we'll be right back.
I wanted to tell you about this really powerful and unique product called the Q Laser. Did you know there's over 2,500 peer-reviewed clinical research studies showing the benefits of low-level laser therapy on the body? We had Dr. Larry Lytle on episode 165 talking all about it. Dr. Lytle, what is the Q Laser?
The Q Laser is a light-delivering device, handheld, rechargeable, that is for lay people and professionals, that works at the cell level of the body to restore energy. Since the body is all composed of cells and the cells are composed of atoms, it's good for any and everything in the body. It is especially beneficial for injuries. It will reduce swelling and inflammation before your eyes. Literally, you can have a sprained ankle and fly the laser, and within 30 minutes you can see that the swelling in the ankle has been reduced. Since all disease is inflammatory, you can assume that same process is working if you have some type of intestinal problem. We have pictures of using a heat instrument to diagnose the intestinal inflammation. We can show that intestinal inflammation is pretty much gone within 3 minutes using the Q1000 laser. It's the number one tool in your medicine cabinet. I have a saying, never leave home without your laser. I have had 3 serious burns, and each time I had my laser with me, I applied the laser immediately after I had the burn. I never even blistered.
Kate and I don't want to be without ours. We've worked out a special deal with Dr. Lytle for all of our listeners. If you'd like to learn more about how the Q laser can dramatically improve your health, go to extremehealthradio.com/laser. I have to say, I have been absolutely loving this product by Tristan Truscott and Peter Ragnar called Good Morning, Good Evening Qigong. If you want to listen to the interview we did with Tristan, you can go to extremehealthradio.com/127. And Qigong is a great way to de-stress the body. And as you know, there's a huge component to disease caused by stress. And stress is a huge factor in how we live our lives and the amount of energy we have and the amount of vitality we have. And so, Dr. Shade, what do you think about Qigong?
People come to me and they're really sick and they got this blown out neurological system and all this toxicity. And I tell them, you need to do Qigong, Tai Chi. You need to do these things that settle down and restore your neurology, because it puts together all the parts. It puts you back into that state where you can start to detoxify. And so I highly, highly recommend all that.
And what about you, Kit Campbell? What do you think about Qigong? Do you like it as well?
Qigong is amazing. And the reason that I believe it to be amazing is everything here is energy. That is a scientific fact, if there ever is one. So when you're practicing Qigong, you're actually drawing energy into your body. Your intention, whatever your intention is behind any action, will determine the level of energy, type of energy that you absorb into your body. So your intention behind is very important, just like thought. So when you're practicing Qigong, you're actually bringing energy in and you're bringing out the stuff that might be a bit stale. With Tai Chi, it's totally different. The energy runs underneath the skin because it's more of a martial. This is the Chinese understanding, by the way. It's more of a martial art. So Qigong is very, very good for bringing that energy into the body, and just fantastic.
If you're interested in picking up this Qigong course by Tristan Truscott and Peter Ragnar, go to extremehealthradio.com/Qigong. That's QIGONG. And you can learn more about it. There's a great video on that page, and you can learn more about it on that page. And I highly, highly recommend this product. I love it myself, so go ahead and check that out. extremehealthradio.com/Qigong.
Listener supported. Extreme Health Radio. Opening minds and transforming lives worldwide. Don't forget to join our thriving community for health tips, inspiration, and show updates at extremehealthradio.com/Facebook.
Running a little bit late here. Kate's making our hot cocoa. Unbelievable. Oh my gosh, that hot cocoa is so good. We'll put the recipe on our Instagram page if you guys are interested in that. Making it sort of like a raw hot chocolate that is so good. So good. But if you guys have any questions about those two products that we just mentioned, the laser and the Qigong course, please let me know. Just send me an email to justin@extremehealthradio.com if you have any questions, want to learn more about them. Both of those are in our store as well, so if you want to go check those out, we have lots of products in our store, and if you want to go check those out, we're going to be adding more as time goes on, but lots of videos in there and good information in the store if you want to learn more about the laser, the Q laser. We've done, I think, about 3 articles with 3 interviews with Dr. Larry Lytle that's on our laser page. So you can check that out. There's links to that on the right side of our website as well if you're interested. And the Qigong course really would be a great thing to start doing in the new year, I think. Be really, really great. So if you want to check those out, that's really, really cool. And we just appreciate you guys so much. And I wanted to share this article with you, too, that talks about, the title is a new simple test with sour milk for detecting colon cancer. Pretty interesting article here. And it says, let me read this a little bit here. It says, scientists from the Institute of Technology in Massachusetts came to a simple method for detecting colon cancer only with yogurt and a urine test. Professor Sanjan Bhatia managed to develop molecules that act as biomarkers to detect cancer cells. If these molecules drink with sour milk, they find their way to cancer cells where enzymes burst. They find their way to cancer cells where enzymes burst of small particles and excreted from the body through urine. All you have to do is take a small scrap of paper and collect the particles. Before these molecules for the detection of cancer is brought by means of injection. Let's see, I think I'm reading that wrong. Before these molecules for the detection of cancer is brought by the means of injection, and with the new method, they should not be mixed with sour milk. The study was done in laboratory mice, and in human clinical trials, it is usually simpler and cheaper detection of this disease. According to the American Association of Cancer, ACS, only 40% of people have early diagnosis of the disease because of fragmented studies.
Huh.
Pretty interesting.
That is interesting. How'd you find that?
I just stumbled across it on Facebook. There's also the urine test. If you go to, there's an actual urine test. Who talked about that is Tamara St. John. Let's see.
Wow, that's so weird. I was thinking about her last night as I went to sleep. Not
really?
Weird. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it was weird. She was in my head, and I thought, wow. Okay. I think, you know why?
What?
Because we were doing the Budwig yesterday.
Oh,
and
yeah.
she's big in the Budwig, right?
I think she did do the Budwig, yeah.
Okay.
She talks about a urine test. Did I put it in the notes of this? Oh, my goodness.
What?
I don't have it in the notes.
Really?
Oh, my gosh. I don't know what happened. Let's see. Here we go. Items mentioned.
Bummer.
Yeah, the Dr. Navarro urine test for cancer. Actually, we'll put a link just to episode 75. So,
episode 75 urine. Okay. We love pee over here. How is this hot cocoa?
Oh, this is really good.
So I don't know if I did this right, but when you walked away to bring back the show, I poured the boiling water into the Vitamix with all the things you'd put in there, and then I blended it up, and then I added a spoonful of coconut oil.
Oh, okay.
Was it already in there?
It was already in there.
Oh, crap.
That's okay.
Then we're getting a lot of coconut. Didn't you tell me yesterday you're supposed to add something separate afterward, after it was all melted?
The coconut water. But I already put that in there as well.
Oh, shoot. Okay. Well, This is extra creamy.
Because if you pour the cold coconut water over the coconut oil,
right.
it's going to be chunky and stuff.
So is this good? I love it. It's extra coconut oil, but man, this has been our favorite thing ever the last 4 mornings.
Oh, this is amazing. So you do, let's see, a little bit of colostrum from Sir Thrival. Amazing stuff. And a little bit of whey protein powder from Synergistic Nutrition. And then you boil some water, the best water you can find. And then you add a little bit of coconut water if you want. And then you add, for the powders, you do the colostrum, the whey, chocolate powder. I put a little bit of a pinch of sea salt, a little bit of...
you put a little sea salt and cinnamon?
Vanilla extract, some cinnamon, and then 2 big, huge tablespoons, huge amounts of
Should
butter.
we say heaping? Can we even say heaping?
We can go with heaping.
Okay, I'm going to go with heaping.
Go with heaping.
Okay.
Heaping amounts of coconut oil, which Kate is very fond of, and raw grass-fed butter from Organic Pastures.
Gosh, you would not think the butter would be good. When you think hot cocoa, you don't think butter, but man, is that tasty.
Did it make any more than this?
Yeah.
I did?
There's more out there.
Nice.
Yeah, we'll have to heat it up at the next break, but isn't it good stuff?
Oh, that's so good.
My favorite new thing.
You put a link to that on your blog.
Oh, man.
Recently.
And you know what's funny? It's really cool. I'm starting out 2015 great because half the things in here a couple weeks ago, even I didn't do well with digestion wise, but for some reason, this combo the last 3 mornings seems to be okay with me. Very weird.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know if it's, I don't know why, but I'm going with it until my body tells me otherwise.
Just do whatever your body tells you to do. What's that from?
What is that from?
What is that?
Oh, that Kobe, that funny thing.
Oh, Kobe Bryant video.
Kobe Bryant. Was that crazy Kobe fan YouTube?
On YouTube, yeah.
That's
crazy
pretty funny.
Kobe fan.
Hey, we have a listener in the chat room who I'm loving talking to, and they said that they have a really bad headache, woke up with one and put essential oils on it and it won't go away. And they recently caught the flu and they're not sure if it's from that. I asked what kind of oils they tried. They said peppermint and eucalyptus. And I said, are you drinking tons of water? Yes. I said, man, that's one tough headache. It might be the rest of the flu working out of the body. I just talked about, did you try acupressure points? Because that always helps when I do the temples, which this person has already done. And then I find that if I press, I don't know if this is an actual one that's for headaches, but I think it is, between the finger and the forefinger and the thumb. That's that really fleshy part. Oh man, I'll press in there kind of till it hurts and hold it for like 30 seconds or a minute and release it on each side of on each hand. And it really helps like alleviate a bit of the headache.
Yeah.
But then I went over here to our favorite, Mike Adams Natural News, and this is pretty cool for headaches. And a lot of people might be dealing with that after New Year's, not just like flu stuff, but hangovers and stuff, which we actually talked about with Susan Smith-Jones before the holiday. She was great, huh?
She's great. I love her.
Yeah, she's cool. But I looked this up, and this is really cool for headaches. It says use a cold or a hot compress. Experts aren't sure why this works, says Dr. Brian Grossberg, assistant professor of neurology and director, headache program. It's hard to study something like that. It can have a placebo effect or it can have a distracting effect on the patient, but lots of patients swear by it. So a hot or a cold compress. They also say,
I wonder if a castor oil pack would work too.
That's what I'm wondering. I'm sure it wouldn't hurt. Lots of people rely on the herb feverfew. Have you heard of feverfew?
No, I
haven't either.
I've heard that.
It said this herb known as, this is going to be good. This is good. Tanacetum parthenium.
Well, I'm going to cut that little bit out, and that's going to be...
I sound drunk. Has been utilized for centuries as a sort of folk remedy for headaches and migraines, as well as pain and fever. It became especially popular in England in the 1980s as an alternative to conventional drugs for migraines. And they go on to talk about feverfew, which I'd never heard of.
Wow.
But they appear to control the expansion and contraction of blood vessels in the head. When you begin to get a migraine, your brain releases the neurotransmitter serotonin and your blood vessels contract. Isn't that interesting? It's all hormone related.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy. Everything from a headache to a fibroid to a mental imbalance,
What could work too there is tapping.
Oh, see, now this is good. We're talking about this, right?
Yeah.
That sounds crazy, but do you have an article on tapping or a link to where people can learn how to do that?
Yeah, there's one. If you go to extremehealthradio.com/tapping, I think, TAPPING, I think that's the right link. That'll redirect you to a website where you can learn all about emotional freedom technique, which is essentially it's a combination of two different, not schools of thought, but two West and East, but time frames. Like so with all the advances of how neuroscience and neurobiology works, and how cells react to your thoughts and to what you say, to your speech, that combined with the meridian points of ancient Chinese medicine, people do these tapping where there's specific points in the body where you say certain affirmations, certain things,
or releasing statements or whatever, right?
Releasing statements, right? While you're tapping on these acupressure points, and it's I've done it. It works. It seems to work really well for me.
It does. Huh?
So that's something you can learn about if you like to. It's free. I mean, maybe you have to. You might want to buy a book or buy a course or something on how to do it. But essentially, once you learn how to do it, it's free forever. You don't you don't need any equipment or anything like that.
Yeah, you can do it anywhere, anytime.
Yeah.
Can you do it? You can do it even if you're laying down anyway, right? You don't have to be standing up.
Yeah, I think so.
If someone's like in bed sick.
Yeah, you can do it anywhere.
Is the Tapping Solution movie available, or do people have to buy that now, or can you even find it online?
I don't think you can find it online. It might be through that link that we excuse me, that I just said, extremehealthradio.com/tapping. Let me see.
Okay. Because that movie just kind of is, I think, a really good intro. I think it's like an hour and a half, and it's just a really great intro into what Nick and Jessica Orton are all about with this whole thing. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, so I think about stress. I think about ways to lower stress. I bet you Bach flower remedies, some of those would help. I bet increasing vitamin C would help.
Yeah, it talks here about various oils, which this person's already tried. Lavender, lavender, eucalyptus, things like that. Vapors, applying them to the temples of the head. People say it works. And then, let's see, a selection of daily minerals, what you just mentioned for anti-headache stuff. Some talks about CoQ10. Or I'm sorry, CoQ10? Yeah. 300 milligrams of that has been proven to effective at reducing the headache. But that can get expensive, they said. But also B12, because you just talked about vitamins, right?
Oh, right.
And about 400 milligrams a day of B12 can act as a really good combative against headache.
Yeah, and you'd probably want to take like white willow bark or...
white willow bark has been so instrumental. I just found that this year.
I know, and also cayenne pepper might help to dilate the blood a little bit and thin the blood.
You're right.
And allow you to have better blood flow to your head. But you wrote an article a while back. I mean, this is kind of expensive.
I was going to mention it, the laser.
Yeah.
My gosh, if you guys are blessed and lucky enough to be able to have or to invest in one of the Q laser systems that we have, they are phenomenal. And I had a headache for the first time in like a year. I never get headaches. And I woke up with a really bad one that I just couldn't kick either. And
you wrote about it in an article called "In the Midst of a Challenging Day, This Device Took Away All My Pain in Minutes."
Literally in minutes. It was like a sinus pressure, and I applied it right to my sinuses. The big Q laser, and then we have a little attachment called the 606 or something.
Oh yeah.
What is it? 660.
660.
And it's a laser that looks like a pointer. There's a clear tip on it, and I actually put that up my nostril. I'll post a picture. I'll post a picture on this.
Or maybe
Instagram? Or Instagram, yeah, of me doing it. And man, I swear I'd had that thing lingering for 2 days, and just really I started to feel nauseous and sick, and I didn't know if I'd actually be able to go back to my job that day. And within 15 minutes, it was completely gone.
There's so many things you could do. Also, think about doing... what are they called? Salt flushes in your nose. What are they called?
Neti pot.
Neti pot. Yeah,
those things are great too.
Daniel Vitalis has a whole video on how to do it the right way.
Yeah,
he's got some neti pots over there at Sir Thrival.
I've never been able to do it the right way.
Yeah, he's got a whole thing, because if you don't do it the right way, it becomes a big problem. But he shows you the technique to do it. At Sir Thrival, if you go to extremehealthradio.com/Sir Thrival, he's got the neti pots there on his website. And you can also buy them at the health food store too if you're in a pinch and need them quick. But yeah, so you would use something like that, and that would really help clear your sinuses and take away it just almost mechanically some of that pressure that's up in your sinuses and things.
Have you mastered that? Because every time I've tried it, it comes out my mouth. And they say it's a deviated septum issue I have, but I don't know.
I haven't had that many problems with it, but I haven't done it in a long time either, so I need to get back to doing that. Actually, it's something that I should probably do every day.
I feel like we should, just as maintenance, kind of like anything brushing your teeth or...
Yeah. So,
okay. Interesting.
Yeah, so what else is there? There's a million things you could do.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to think.
Drink water, drink juices. Try to get your blood alkaline, so drink more
lemon water,
green juices, lots of alkaline foods like avocados, cucumbers, celery.
Avocados are really alkaline, I think.
Yeah, do some green juices, and because if your blood's acidic, you're going to have inflammation that's going to cause restriction of blood flow and tension and all kinds of stuff. So you want to do some green. There's a million things you could do. But I would start off maybe trying to do some meditation, do some tapping.
Kind of calming the system down a little.
Yeah, do some stuff like that. And I think that, you can add this other stuff in later.
Yeah. Plus, if it is the flu or something leaving your body, I mean, you could assist that by just drinking tons of fluids and trying all these other things, and it'll run its course and just kind of exit out. I find it funny when sicknesses or illnesses like that leave your body. You can get some weird stuff. Like when I was fasting on bone broth a month ago, remember how my teeth just ached? For like 3 days, my teeth hurt.
Oh, wasn't that weird?
And I thought, wow, this is like some sort of, it's doing something. It's leaving my body, whatever my issue is. And
right.
It was just like, when do you ever think it's going to... Gonna leave through your teeth.
I know. Isn't that the strangest thing? Bizarre. So what are some of your things you want to accomplish in 2015?
I was going to ask you first. I'm going to put you on the hot spot.
Put me on the hot spot? Well, I got some things.
Yeah, what are your goals? And I shouldn't say goals. I don't like that.
Well, I've got a bunch of things in terms of, I guess there's a lot of different areas of life that you can make goals for, but...
do you like the word goal, or are you okay with it? I kind of like it, but I hold it loosely. I'm more like... I'm reading that book by Danielle Laporte right now, and it's so good in the desire map, and I'm thinking she talks about the core desired feeling of the goal of like,
yeah.
So if she doesn't, I mean, she's about goals, but not really. It's kind of the law of attraction kind of idea. But I view goals, I say goals, but I mean something kind of different, like the core desired feelings of what I want to feel when I actually get to that goal. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So you're thinking more of like developing the feeling of what it feels like to actually accomplish a goal before you set out to do it.
Yeah. And then set out to do it, like not follow through. So that is a goal, but to not be hung up on, cause I'm sorry, I totally interrupted you.
No, that's good.
I feel like often it's anticlimactic, like, my friend Allison Adams, I keep mentioning her, but she's such an integral part of my life this last year. But when I told her about, wrapping up my salon job and career all this time at the end of the year, she said, don't beat yourself up or feel weird if it's really anticlimactic when you quit your job and just nothing. She said that's how it was for her. She had this whole thing built up, what it was going to be like. And then when she actually got there, it wasn't anything great. It was just another day.
Right.
And I don't want to, and that's been such a good reminder to me as I get ready to step out of my own career,
right,
and do this full time. But the core desired feeling of that I want to carry with me, but I still want to, I already have the feeling. Take my job as an example.
Right.
I've already retired in my mind, and I'm feeling that, and that's why I was saying I've kind of checked out and not cared the last few weeks or months about. Really pleasing a lot of people or squeezing people in like I used to because I freaking out about the money or whatever.
Completely.
But to still go forward and actually attain that goal. So it's like this twofold thing, but I'm not just focused like I used to, like most people do every year, sitting down and writing absolute definite goals that you're going to do this year.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm that way too.
Yeah. So that's just how I'm viewing it this year. But
yeah, I think there's, because when you have, I think inherently within the word goal, you have this attachment to a big grandiose thing that you're going to accomplish. And as a result of this thing that you're going to accomplish, you're going to feel a certain way. And why not just feel that all along the way?
Right. That's the thing.
And and so when you have a goal like that, you also have, it also makes you think that, or it sort of subconsciously embeds the notion into you that the goal is somehow separate from you. So it's like this outside thing that I have to go out there and accomplish it.
Exactly.
Whereas I think the real power of goal setting and things comes from fulfilling the small little daily tasks that it takes to reach a goal. Because that's within you, and that discipline and that focus and that clarity and that ability to stick with something on a regular basis is really what the goal is.
You are absolutely right.
And so what that accomplishes is what we call the goal, but that's really, because it's really a transformation of ourself. Like we talk about with our dog trainer, it's really training the owners more than the dog. The dog will do whatever. If we want it to be a certain way, it'll be that way, but it just follows what we're doing. So it's really retraining the person.
Right.
And so that's what in terms of the word goal, it's more about becoming the type of person that has the discipline and the focus and the self-love to carry out something on a daily basis that they don't necessarily want to do, but they know is good for their health, or that it's good for their growth, or it's going to help a lot of people. So that's where you want to get into the habit. It's more about the habit than it is accomplishing something.
Amen.
For me. But here are some things that I've thought about.
Yeah, what are they?
So I wanted to learn how to make my own vitamin C. And day one accomplished.
You charged it. I'm so proud of you. First day of the year.
Did we put that on Instagram yet?
No, I'll do that right now as you share.
Make my own vitamin C, because we love taking the lipospheric vitamin C from Live On Labs. And if you go to extremehealthradio.com/vitamin C, Kate will write that down as soon as she gets a second, but you'll be redirected over to Live On Labs, and we just love their products, and they're very expensive. And so if you have a lot of money or don't mind spending that kind of money, I mean, they're amazing products.
Right.
But there's like $1 a pack.
Right.
So for 30 packets, if you do 1 packet a day for 2 people, that's 2 weeks. And we could go through 3 or 4.
And that's not if you're fighting like some sort of sickness you feel coming on. Like then they say to do upwards of 10 to 15 of those packets a day.
A day.
Well, that would last you 2 days, that whole box.
The whole box. And so Dr. Allison Adams told you, what, 10,000 milligrams?
10,000 milligrams.
Which is 10 grams. Yep. And Dr. Gary Gordon, so we'll put links to Dr. Gary Gordon and lipospheric vitamin C. Dr. Gary Gordon says that just for maintenance, you should do 15 to 20,000 milligrams of vitamin C, liposomal vitamin C per day.
15 to 20?
15 to 20,000.
20, yeah, right. Okay.
Per day. So that would be 15 of those packets just for one person in one day. So I thought, okay, I don't know if we'll get that high, but what we can do is go a little bit lower and then learn how to make our own vitamin C. And then when we don't have the vitamin C, we'll have a couple boxes of the lipospheric from Live On Labs hanging around the house so that we could use that in a pinch or take it traveling or something.
Right.
So there's a really specific way to make vitamin C, liposomal vitamin C, and that's...
What does liposomal mean?
Liposomal, I don't know what the somal part of it is, but the lipo just comes from the word lipid, which is a fat.
Fat soluble?
Yeah, so what happens is that it encases itself around, it creates almost like a cell membrane around the molecule, the vitamin C molecule. Because I remember last year when we were in the Dominican, I was sick.
Oh my gosh, you swore you had whooping cough, which I don't think it was, but that was the worst sickness I've ever seen you have ever.
It was,
ever.
Oh my gosh.
You never get sick either.
Yeah, I hadn't been sick really since 2003, and then last year, right before we were going to go to the Dominican Republic, my throat started hurting. And it was the worst. Anyway, I was doing high dose vitamin C, just straight like ascorbic acid in water. And that would ruin my stomach. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, why is that? Because it doesn't have the fat soluble or the fat encased in it?
Yeah, so it gets...
Encasing it.
It really, the pH of that affects your stomach and affects your gut when it travels down your gut. And so people talk about taking bowel tolerance vitamin C. And so you kind of just increase the dosage until you get to that point where you're having diarrhea or something like that. So the problem
then you
with that,
back off.
Yeah, the problem is that you can't take the amount that you need in order to overcome something.
Right.
Because your body just won't allow it. So encasing it in this liposomal structure allows your body to take as much of it as you want without feeling any adverse reactions to it.
Do you spell liposomal Liposomal?
I think it's LIPO.
Oh.
Somal.
Is lipospheric with an I too? I'm just curious.
Let me see.
I'm Instagramming it. I don't want to make this wrong.
Liposomal.
Because I know your mom was asking how to spell it too.
Yeah, they spell it LIPO SOMAL.
Oh, then how about lipospheric?
Let's see.
Liposomal. That's a great word. I feel like that's with a Y. Could they be different spellings for that?
They say lipo is LYPO.
That's what I thought.
SPHERIC.
Yes. Isn't that funky?
Yeah, how weird.
Okay. Cool, thanks.
So, so I learned how to make that myself using a simple little jewelry cleaner. They call it I was going to say Clarisonic, but it's the, what is it?
What is that called?
It's called a jewelry cleaner. I'll put a link to it, actually. I'll find it on Amazon and put a link directly to it, so to the one that we have. The one we have is really great, too, because it goes in 8-minute cycles. Some of them go for 3-minute cycles.
Okay.
So you have to... we're putting a link to it on Instagram.
Yep.
And so you want to do it for...
It's Kendall brand.
Oh, is it?
Kendal.
Yeah, so basically, we're going to be really increasing the dose of the vitamin C. So I want to learn how to do that, and I can cross that off my list.
I really don't like the taste of it, but I'm just so happy we're getting it in. And you know what? The taste is the least thing I'm worried about these days.
Yeah.
How things taste to me whatever. I'm over it.
Yeah, I remember when we first started out. This is how I was. I was kind of over the taste,
and I was like, yeah, right.
You were so connected to the taste of everything. You just wouldn't do it.
Well, most people are. That's the thing. Like, it's getting over your own blocks. It's these mental blocks that just are pretty silly. But
I know, huh?
What else you got, Stelman?
Sweet dreams, Stelman.
Sweet dreams, Stelman.
Learning how to make the Budwig protocol.
Well, you were knocking things off your list. You did both of those on January 1st, didn't you?
Yep. And
yep.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So we did an interview with Dr. Lloyd Jenkins from the Budwig Center over in Spain.
He was great.
He was great, and I got really excited about doing this, but that was a few months ago. But
Budwig worked for him because he was taking his wife out dancing night on the town after that.
I know, right?
Budwig was treating him well.
Nothing wrong with that.
And he was talking in that about doing a maintenance, because a lot of people think maybe Budwig is just for cancer treatment, but you're going to do it as a maintenance, right? Yeah,
I just do it a few times a week as a maintenance. And what it is basically is combining the minerals and the vitamins that are in flaxseed oil, combining it with using an immersion blender, like a hand blender that you stick down into a cup, with cottage cheese. Excuse me. And you want to do organic, obviously, cottage cheese. Excuse me. I burp.
You okay over there?
I don't know if they make raw cottage cheese, but if you can get that organic, we buy a Nancy's brand. So you can put a link to that if you want. And combining these two things, and it helps to deliver oxygen to the cells, break down the cancer cell membranes, and helps to strengthen your body to be able to kill cancer. And there's a whole Budwig protocol about how to do this. So
I know that was our first experiment with it, and you said it turned out different than the video you watched about how to do it. Do you think that's because we didn't do the flax part right, because we didn't have a coffee grinder?
No, because the flax would just add a little crunch to it. It wouldn't change the consistency of it.
Okay. So you added flax oil in, like we had that.
Yeah, it's 3 tablespoons of flax oil. You can search for how to do this on YouTube. 3 tablespoons of flax oil, 6 tablespoons of the cottage cheese. And it's supposed to make like this frothy sort of, but ours turned out to be like a thick smoothie, like a shake.
It looks like pancake batter.
Yeah, it wasn't good. So we'll get better at that, but the point is learning how to do it.
Right.
So that was cool. I want to start making my own silver this year.
Good one.
And there's a really amazing product that is just the hands down the best to do this. It's called, if you go to extremehealthradio.com/make silver, MakeSilver.
Well, that's convenient.
Yeah, make silver. And that's put out by Steve Barwick, who we're working on getting on the show. But
we haven't had him, yeah.
Teach you how to make your own silver. I want to learn how to be better at making my own tinctures. That would be cool.
We've had that cucumber vodka.
We bought it like 6 years ago.
6 years ago, since we lived in an old apartment.
I know.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
So what kind of tinctures? Just for everything? Bunch of medicinal ones?
Yeah, I want to make chaga and reishi, some of the most powerful ones.
Cool.
And make, just get into mushrooms and making dual extraction tinctures and
just that.
Boiling stuff. Make a decoction in the teapot. Take that, boil it down, and then add that to a tincture and get both sides of the immune system covered.
Wow.
And make your own medicine and stuff.
Do you want to embark on that within the next couple weeks kind of thing?
Anytime this year.
Okay.
Even if it's the last week of the year, I just want to learn how to do it sometime in 2015.
Cool goal. Okay.
Castor oil packs.
Oh, right.
Simple, but I want to learn how to do that. Because I hear they're amazing.
Yeah.
So learn how to do a castor oil pack.
Like once a week would you do them, or you just whenever you felt like you needed them?
Probably once a week, yeah. Okay. Or if I had like any kind of acute issue, like a liver pain, or if I had a stomach pain or something, just to be able to have that in your sort of repertoire of things you know how to do.
Totally. This is our new medicine cabinet, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And I want to meditate more. I want to do that on a more consistent basis.
Yeah, yeah.
I want to start doing club bells with, and I'd love to really look into doing the MoveNat. Have you heard about this? It's the natural movement. It's MOVNAT.
MoveNat?
MoveNat, yeah. And it's a way of, have you ever heard of parkour?
No.
You may have seen the videos online of people doing that, but it's where you see these guys running through the city and they'll jump off a building.
Oh, is that what that's called?
It's not a big building, but it's just like a 20-foot thing.
Like
and
a little rooftop.
They'll land on, and then they'll roll, and then they'll, sort of do all these movements with their body that, it's sort of similar. MoveNat would
like Ninja Turtle style.
Yeah, it's like being able to use your body in the way that it was designed to move.
That's cool.
Yeah, and so there's a whole course on how to do this and
really
exercise, and it's like.
But you don't have to jump off 20-story ledges.
Yeah, no. But it's like being able to like duck under something, or to be able to reach down and bend down and use your body. It's kind of like doing yoga.
That's interesting.
But it's to train your body to move in a more natural way, and there's a whole physiology that they have behind it.
Well, that's actually really cool, because it's kind of getting back to your roots. Like, I know it sounds crazy, but if you were being chased by somebody or something like that's the kind of skills you want in your I don't know what's the word.
Your arsenal.
That's it. I was gonna say repertoire. That doesn't sound right. In your arsenal, though.
Yeah. No, but it's more like it would be great, but it's more like the getting back to how you're able to move as a child. Mm-hmm. So you're able to sort of just run and do a backflip, or you're running
roll around, or sort of. Mm-hmm. You can get up and get off the floor really quickly and fast, and I see.
It's that kind of thing.
Okay.
And it helps prevent injury. It's great for sports people, athletic people.
Well, yeah, if you could bring a little bit of that back, imagine how like that reverses the aging process. Because who was it that we had on the show that told us if we want to know our real health is to see if we can get up off the floor from sitting without using our hands to help us?
Oh, yeah.
Was that Steve Maxwell?
I think it was Steve
Maxwell.
And
we tried it during the thing, and it's hard.
Yeah, to get off, because the more points of contact you have with the floor, there's some sort of direct indication on your longevity. So if you have to put like both hands and both feet on the floor,
and you kind of roll to the side and slowly get up, and that's actually he changed our life, because since then you and I refuse to take help from the other person. We probably look so rude to the world. It's like you're on the floor and I walk by you and let you just get up, and we don't offer, though, because we think the more times we're training our body to do that. Yeah. Actually, and that's not even true. I haven't been taking your help, but I have also been still using my hands. So I need to work on that a bit. Yeah. Yeah. Because your ability to get up off the floor is a huge health indicator. Is a huge thing. Yeah. And that's cool. MoveNat. And I think we did a additional thing. I think in our last Friday show, we talked about the sit test. Is that right? Did we? Yeah, where you sit on the edge of your chair. Oh, yep. And you put your hands on your chest. Yeah. There's a whole test. I linked to it in one of our shows. Can we link to it again? Yeah, we'll link to it again. That's right. That directly determines how healthy you are, how long you'll live, how strong your heart is. And all that stuff. And it's something that the actual CDC, or not CDC, but the FDA put out. Wow, that's weird. Kind of strange. Okay. So MoveNat, I want to get into that, and Club Bells, where it's more natural sort of fitness and training, like walking, natural compound body movements. I do bench press and all that stuff at the gym, but it's not really natural. Well, and according to the book we read last year, Deepak's book about Ayurveda. Oh, yeah. Each body type, there are more natural exercises, and walking and things were among them for Vatas, which we are. And it seems like, wow, getting back to your roots a little, like without doing these things that are really, really hard on your system and your structure. Club bells and kettlebells and things like that. I want to start getting more into. That's cool. NLP. I want to learn how to do that. That's on my list too. Is it? Yeah. Okay. We'll talk about it with you. Okay. And getting pregnant. Oh, wow. I don't have anything to do with that. I'm going to be Mr. Mom, or Mr. Mom. What's that one with Arnold Schwarzenegger? Yeah, isn't it? What is that called? Yeah. It's something like that. I forget, but wow, that's cool. So yeah, those are just some ideas. Okay. And then I've got obviously goals for the show, and personal goals, and all kinds of other stuff that won't share here, but but those are just some of the health goals. That's cool. So pregnancy's on yours? It's well, good, because we have to be on the same page for that one. That's true. I meant to say NLP. We talked about that ever since we started our show. We've gotten people emailing us throughout the years going, how cool, you're getting ready to have a kid. And they probably think, what is taking them so long? But, to be honest, I got really rocked last year when I got that, the high CA-199 level with the pancreas. And by the way, that's continuing to drop, which is awesome. I'm going to test again in February and kind of see where I'm at with that. But I feel really good about waiting. And just because I felt a little bit, I didn't feel a little bit of pressure. I wasn't putting any pressure on my age or anything like that. But I am so glad. I've been feeling so much better leading into this.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I'm also really thankful that we're going to still have time. I've been working with Dr. Bergman to get my body aligned and ready. And you can still do that during pregnancy, which is really cool, apparently. And,
yeah.
I also really want to do a major cleanse, another one before we embark on that. So
let's talk a little bit about those things when we come back from the break.
Okay.
We got a little break to
I'll
take.
go heat up your other, you want some more?
Actually, I think I'm okay.
You're okay on the cocoa?
Yeah.
I'm going to go get my chia seed pudding then.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm ravenous.
Oh my goodness.
2015 makes me hungry.
Makes me hungry. Get in my belly.
Get in my belly.
All right, we're going to be right back right after this.
Kate and I have had our sauna for about a year now, I'd say, when we first got it from Phil Wilson. And it's an incredible machine. We use ours about every single day. Kate sits in about 20 minutes, and I sit in there about for a half hour. Usually watch a documentary, and it's extremely relaxing. It's really, really incredible machine. And if you go to extremehealthradio.com/sauna, you can learn all about it. We did an entire hour interview with Phil Wilson. You can check that out. You can look at the pictures of us with it. You can watch videos on that page. It helps you to sleep really, really well. You can lose a lot of weight with it. You can burn, I think, around 600 calories in about 20 minutes or so. It improves your skin, increases circulation all over the body, and circulation is critical for your health. You can prevent and reverse diseases with it if you have a cold or flu. It's incredible. It heats you down to the core. It heats 4 to 6 inches inside your body, so it's really incredible. And a lot of people use it for cancer as well. So if you have any kind of incurable, quote, disease, you can use it for that. And Dr. Shade is the foremost authority on detoxification. And listen to what he says about it.
How do I detoxify from plastics? I mean, you guys are using a sauna, and what does a sauna do for us? A sauna is great. It's moving a number of different toxins. Remember, we talked about the mice that if you put PCBs in there, then that made the mercury all that much worse. And sweating moves out a lot of plastics, volatiles, fat-based toxins. It's really good at moving those out, sweating those out. So that's how you're getting those out, and those are contributing to this synergistic soup inside the body. And so that's why they're good, is they're taking out a bunch of the different things in the soup.
And Daniel Vitalis, one of our favorite guests. What do you have to say about the sauna?
When you go into the sauna, like a far infrared sauna like you discussed, your body goes into a deep relaxation mode, and your sympathetic nervous system shuts down and your parasympathetic nervous system turns on. And when that's active, that's the nervous system, part of your nervous system that's active when you meditate. That becomes active, and your detoxification pathways open up wide. Why is this important? It's important because when you go running and you sweat, you're not necessarily eliminating very much toxicity from your body. But when you sweat in the sauna, you eliminate a lot of toxicity from your body. So sweating in a relaxed state is how we eliminate. The other thing is that what's wonderful about the sauna is that it puts you in a parasympathetic nervous system response, like as if you were meditating. So it's almost a hack. It's like a trick to get yourself into a meditative, relaxed state, to decompress stress, to reverse the effects of stress, and to get your body eliminating deep, deep toxicity that's stored in your body fat because it can come out in the oils of your skin. So I think, sauna is one of the most crucial detoxification, really health practices that we could take on, especially in this era of heavy toxicity, particularly fat-soluble toxins.
The sauna is really, really great. They offer payment plans because if you buy it through PayPal, it's 100% secure. You don't even need a PayPal account. I think you could do a payment plan through PayPal. It's got low EMF electromagnetic fields coming off of it. It's portable, so that means you don't have to knock down a wall in your house. You can just move it from room to room. It sets up in about 2 to 5 minutes. It's super easy to clean. All you got to do is wipe it down when you're done and wipe the neck down. And it produces energy and heat inside very, very evenly throughout the whole machine. All you have to do is sit in there for about 15 minutes a day. And the great thing I like about it too is it requires zero preheating. So you turn it on and you're starting to get warm and you're starting to detoxify with that far infrared light almost immediately. So it's really great. It comes with a 1-year warranty. It's about $990 plus $25 shipping. And that's really, really a good deal because if you look at most of the regular saunas out there, they are in the $2,000 to $4,000 range. So this is really, really a good deal. So check it out, extremehealthradio.com/sauna.
All free shows, all the time on Extreme Health Radio. Opening minds and transforming lives worldwide. Join our community today. Sign up to our email list and instantly get our free gift to you, along with loads of inspirational content and cutting-edge tips to help change your life at extremehealthradio.com/subscribe.
Okay, I tell you, we are in the wrong business.
Why that?
Why that? Why that? Who dat?
Who dat? Why?
Did you see this article I shared? I'm not sure if I shared this on our Facebook thing.
No.
Woman opens up a professional cuddling shop, gets 10,000 customers in the first week.
What?
Have you heard about that?
No.
Isn't that crazy?
What? A cuddle shop?
A cuddle shop. So,
what is that, like comfy clothes?
inspired by an article written by Anna Lamind of Learning Mind, everyone has thought to themselves at some point in their life, I could really use a hug right now. What if all you had to do to get one was to drive up the street to that local cuddling shop? Samantha Ross decided to open up the world's first professional cuddling shop in Portland, Oregon, where customers can pay $60 an hour to get, quote, the level of human contact that we want or need in order to be our optimal selves, unquote. The shop is called Cuddle Up to Me.
That's awesome.
It allows people to book appointments with cuddlers to receive the comfort they're looking for. $60 an hour may seem like a lot to cuddle with someone, but apparently there are many people who are willing to pay that amount. The business has taken off, Hess told Fox 12. I've been getting as many as 10,000 emails this week. What inspired the creation of this business? Hess said she decided it would be a good business idea when she was going through a difficult time in her life. Quote, I was in a place where I thought paying someone to hug me and not have ulterior motives sounded like a great idea. I decided, why can't this be a thing that we can easily and safely reach for?
Holy moly.
Isn't that crazy?
Whoa, I don't know what to think about that. First of all, I think the idea is awesome because no one's ever done it before.
Uh-huh.
But my first thought is that's really sad. My second thought is that's really awesome because...
Sad, why?
Well, just sad that people need that much that they don't get any human touch, that they actually need to go pay someone to... I guess I just take for granted all the people I have in my life that are really touchy-feely, you know?
Yeah.
And some people don't like that, but maybe it's because they didn't get it growing up or whatever. But I bet you'd have to have all kinds of boundaries with, like, sign all kinds of waivers. Like, you know, if you're having people, like, hands-on touch you and, like, caress you and hug you and make you feel good, I wonder, that could get kind of weird.
Each 60-minute session is customized to fit the preferences of the customer. Hair stroking and hand-holding are other options that are available to include in a session. If physical contact isn't your thing, but you still wish to be in someone else's company, you can pay to just sit and read with someone. Her studio has 4 themed rooms, and she enjoys 3 other cuddlers, or she employs. She enjoys the cuddlers too.
It's a whole new meaning to threesome.
yeah, right. She initially was operating out of her home, but was forced to upgrade to a larger space due to high demand. Her business kind of raises a red flag when it comes to people paying extra to get a little more, if you know what I mean. Hess emphasizes that her business is in no way adult-oriented, but rather family-oriented. People always think that there's upgrades or, additional services that we provide, but that's not true. Pretty funny.
Wow,
huh?
a cuddle. Would you go?
No. I don't know.
Enough cuddles with Maggie Brown.
Yeah, I mean, but I could see a need for it, If someone were living alone and had no interaction with other people, really, and didn't... what if a guy or a woman, older and has no family? And I mean, there's scientific evidence to support the
physical touch.
Physical touch affects you.
I was going to say, because I know that really helps in the healing. I mean, just like laughing does, it's like these things that are so natural that some people just don't do or don't get,
Right. So if you want to start a booming business in 2015...
Join the cuddle business.
Join the cuddle business. Cuddle Up to Me.
Cuddle Up to Me. That is the name?
It's called Cuddle Up to Me.
That's amazing.
We'll put a link to the article.
Cuddle Up to Me.
Cuddlenation.net.
Cuddle Nation.
I'm going to open it up. Hopefully there's
that is unique. Yeah, hopefully there's nothing interesting.
Yeah.
Wow, how do you find some interesting things?
Facebook. All the stuff gets shared on Facebook.
Wow.
No, interesting though, huh?
Wow, good for you.
So
that's unique.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about your 2015 things that you want to sort of do.
Real quick, I love that one of our guests in the chat room says, "Wow, better than going to a bar as far as the cuddling." Isn't that true? Hugging is like a drug. It produces oxytocin. That's so cool.
Yeah, and has direct effects on your blood chemistry and everything.
Amen. C. Bizzle. I love that name.
C. Bizzle.
Yeah.
I love it.
So would you ask me, what are mine?
Yeah, for 2015. What are some things you want to do?
Okay. Some are health and some are just me.
Okay.
But to read more.
Okay.
I got out of the habit of reading, and I love who I am and how I feel when I'm reading and learning. Taking up archery.
Really?
Yeah, we've talked about this for a long time. I really want to, I'm not saying I'm going to do it on a regular basis, but I want to go a couple times this year and learn what it's like to shoot the old bow and arrow.
You know, we were at the sporting goods store a while ago, and those bows and arrows aren't that expensive.
Like $100.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. I guess there's this place about 25 minutes from us, and maybe on the way up to get an adjustment, I can actually, you'd try it out too with me, wouldn't you?
I'd be into that.
Also, one of my clients is I don't know what you call it, but she teaches people at the shooting range.
Oh, okay.
A shooting instructor, maybe?
Uh-huh.
I really want to go to the shooting range. Those are going to be two things, archery and shooting.
She's an instructor, or she just goes there?
She's both, but she's an instructor.
Okay.
As well, and she's amazing. She used to be a parole officer, and she, every time she come into the salon and I cut her hair, she'd just be she had a gun on her, and she had a gun in her purse. It was awesome.
Wow.
I felt like if this is the time anybody's going to come in and try to rob me,
good to go.
Hold up the salon, yeah. You're good to go. So archery, shooting, and read more. Those are kind of random.
What makes you want to do the archery and shooting?
I just think it's good to add a little more Steve Maxwell into my life. Like add a little bit more preparedness, and not saying, I don't even know if I'm going to ever have to use those things, but it's really cool to be able to have skills. And I think working on your skills every year is a good thing, whether that's, becoming, and this is one of the things too, is just become more, as I'm trying to describe this, I'm losing my word, but more eloquent in my speech. Articulate and eloquent, both. Yeah. Because I think communicating effectively is a really hard art. I think to learn that communication art is a challenge. So better communication and skills that way.
That's awesome.
Especially since this is what I'm going to focus on. I'm going to, bow out of the salon in 2 weeks, and I'm going to be doing this. And, over the years, you get some random comments that aren't so nice about people saying you say and why and wow, why, things like that, or interesting. And yeah, I know I do that, and I'd like to be better too. So I'm not judging myself. I wasn't in this 2 years ago. This wasn't even on my radar. So I wasn't planning on sitting here talking for a living,
Right.
But I know I can be better. And I think it was Jim Rohn who talked about perfecting your craft. Mm-hmm. And if this is going to be my craft, then I know I can go a lot farther with it. So
that's cool.
I'm not saying I want to be perfect, but I want to continue down that path.
Isn't a rich life one where you're constantly learning new things, exposed to new information, exposed to new people, exposed to new ideas, learning things, whether it's, a martial art, dancing, weight training,
cooking, painting,
doing
a headstand from yoga.
Yeah. Constantly pushing yourself to want to learn new things and getting your body used to new movements and getting your mind used to new ideas and becoming, fully expressing all the different pieces of the pie that make up you. And a lot of times we only fully express a couple of the pieces of the pie, but there's a whole 360 degrees to work with, and there's different, we act different towards different people, different sides of our personality come out. Or if you're listening to the radio and a song comes on, maybe it's a country song, maybe it's a rap song, or maybe it's a rock and roll song. There are different sides of you that resonate to each of those three different things, and we have these interests and skills that maybe we never even thought about.
Oh, for sure.
And so to be able to learn these things, like you took sailing a couple of years ago. Remember that?
I've delved into many different kinds of classes and things, and
so
I tried to sail.
Cool.
Yeah,
learning new things, and it's good.
Right, interior decorating. I've done a lot of interesting classes, and I don't want to stop that. And, I feel like my pie is bigger.
Yeah.
I feel like I used to bake small pies, and now my pie is huge.
Massive
and
pie.
I have all the slices are so many more, and it's exciting,
That's cool.
And I feel like my wheel is kind of rounding out a little bit, but.
That's awesome.
I agree with you on the pregnancy thing. That would be really cool if God had that in store this year.
Uh-huh.
Castor oil packs are on mine as well.
Nice.
I put kick fear.
Kick fear?
In the arse.
In the arse. Kick fear in the arse.
To keep it G-rated. No, I'm really down a cool place right now where I'm able to, I feel like I'm getting really close to not living fearless, but the most fearless I have ever lived in my life. And I want to continue to work on that and try new things every day and embrace new things. I mean, I'm just caution to the wind with what I try with my eating habits, and it's been a whole journey. So I'm really excited to continue that on through 2015. I want to write an ebook.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yep. That'll be my goal is to have that ebook done and out by spring.
Ooh, okay.
So I'm putting it out there right now.
I love it.
Telling the world that's my intention. I've really got to plug back into yoga. I've just been out of the habit, and I really miss what that makes me feel like and what it does for me on a psychological level. To get our hair finally analyzed.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. Our sweet friend Krista has offered to help us out with that, and she sent us the packet, I'm embarrassed to say, probably close to a year ago. Wow. And we haven't done it, and I'm so curious to see the levels of stuff that she can test for our hair. So we got to get that done. I think that's my goal actually for this month. By the end of January, I'm going to have that sent off to her. So if you don't mind losing a little hair,
nice.
We got to get that over to her.
There you go.
Yeah, and getting my other blog up and going. I have been threatening this for a while, but the minute I actually wrap up my job is when I am starting to focus on that, and this is going to be my full-time thing. And then also, like we talked about, intentional with my words and practice more of an NLP, a neuro-linguistic programming type of way with my words. And I want to watch that. You sent a video, or you posted a video. It's like 9 hours long about our, the way we talk or speak.
Oh, quantum language.
Quantum language. Does that tie into the NLP? Or not really?
Not necessarily. You know what's so funny? This is so funny about different disciplines. It's so fascinating. I don't think that David Wynn-Miller, who does the quantum language, knows. He might know about NLP, but I don't think the NLP people know about David Wynn-Miller.
Really?
Yeah, and so it's weird to know things that. It's like when you have two different friends, but they don't know each other, but you're the connection between the two.
Uh-huh.
But quantum language, we'll put a link to a 9-hour lecture if you're interested. I actually sent this over to Adam Bergstrom, who wrote me an email last night saying that he's 3 hours into it and he's just loving it.
I love Adam.
So yeah, we'll put a link to that. Yeah, it's really interesting how there's these seemingly different types of language patterns and things. If you want to learn some NLP, there's an article about on our website where David Jubb and Annie Jubb talk about.
Is that how you first heard of him? Heard of this through David and Annie?
Yeah, okay. That's just how I originally heard of NLP.
Okay,
but yeah, so I wrote an article about this type of subject, NLP, and what you can do. And there's a bunch of videos by Dr. David Jubb and his then wife, Annie Jubb, talking about neuro-linguistic programming, pacing in your language. And it's about 4 videos long. It's about 7 minutes, 8 minutes. Okay. I think there's 5 videos or 5 minutes. So not very long, but good stuff.
Huh, interesting. Is there any way you can get professionally trained to be an NLP practitioner? Where do you go for that?
I think you can do NLP. Let's see, NLP.com.
Yeah.
Training with Dr. Matt. And then there's also...
Dr. Who, Matten?
Dr. Matt.
Matt.
Dr. Matt, that's all it says.
Oh, okay.
But there's also... what is the other language thing that we brought up lately? Not emotional freedom technique.
Was it another language thing?
Yeah, it was just like NLP. Shoot, I'm drawing a blank here. What is it called?
Oh, I hate that.
I need to take some more ginkgo biloba.
Oh.
Not emotional freedom technique. I forget what it is, but there's something similar to NLP as well. Maybe those in the chat room can help me out. But
Not EFT.
Not EFT. It was like Joy. I think Joy might have been in there. Joy.
Wow. Have I heard of this before?
Yeah, I just told you 2 days ago about it.
I remember you talking about the quantum language video, but I don't remember.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the difference, or how are they the same, or?
I don't know the differences or how they're the same. I just know that they're two different. It's basically how to nonviolent.
To communication or something?
Yeah, nonviolent communication.
NVC?
NVC.
Is that really what it's called?
I think so, yeah.
Nonviolent. I just hiccuped.
Yeah.
Communication. Oh, look at you.
Yeah, the Center for Nonviolent Communication. So
Yeah,
there's lots of things you can go down.
Is that something you want to you said you want to work on this kind of stuff in this year too?
Yeah, I want to learn NLP because I want to make sure that I really want, language is huge. Even if you don't get into the quantum language, which is the David Wynn Miller stuff, but language is huge, and speaking correctly and speaking in a way that's powerful and speaking in a way that draws out power and energy from other people, and being able to almost manipulate people where you're pacing them and they're pacing you in the conversation, learning how to communicate with people using body language. And I just think that's really cool. I think it's really cool, especially in our line of work. Yeah.
One of our friends in the chat room says faster EFT is different than regular EFT, and it is highly based on NLP. The founder of it would be a really cool quest.
Oh, guest.
Or guest.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Okay, faster. Is there a link for that, I wonder?
I don't know. Maybe if there's, they could post it for us.
Yeah, that's cool.
Faster EFT. Interesting.
Never heard of that one.
It's kind of cool.
Healing magic. Okay. Here's a link. Okay, cool. Wow, cool. This is what's so fun about having a live show.
I know, isn't it?
Can share their thoughts and their stuff that they're doing. Pretty fun.
Thanks, C-Bizzle.
So what else is going on?
That's a great name. I love it. C-Bizzle.
C-Bizzle.
Well, shiz, maniz. I'm trying to think. When you said that, I had something come to mind.
About?
Something about this year. Hold on, let me think.
Wait for it.
Oh, darn it.
Something about NLP in this year?
Gosh. I don't know. It was something that we're either wrapping up from last year going into this year that I was really wanting to be intentional about, but it'll come back to me.
Yeah,
it's all good.
I think that language, because if you can train how your brain thinks, if you can train how you speak and the words you use and the disempowering language, getting all that stuff out of how you actually communicate wording, then it's causing you to think and be intentional. So it's causing you to think differently as well.
Right.
So it's
right, and that's part of the list you read in the Facebook, the 8 things to do different in the new year or whatever. It's like,
right,
yeah, if you can reprogram your what you let in and what you think about and what you allow to stay moving around in your brain, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and so is there anything else for 2014 that you? Oh,
I think there's tons for 2014, but
I'm sorry, 2015.
I'm sorry, same thing. There's tons for 2015, but I'm going to kind of leave it at that. And I have a bunch of personal stuff too, and I'm going to continue to take that on my blogs and as I journey, kind of work through those a little bit deeper. But yeah, those are the things for now that I kind of am setting out as my path for 2015.
That's awesome. And if you guys are wanting to follow Kate's blog, you can do that on the website, on the front page of the website. You can follow Kate's blog if you want to, and she really goes into a lot of personal stuff, and it kind of opens up about her frustrations, her fears, her successes, what's working for her, what's not, and it's pretty cool. It's really good
thanks.
read, and you're a good writer as well.
Oh gosh, well maybe that's something actually for this year too. I want to spend more time reading so I can get better at writing. I feel like those two go hand in hand.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure.
Yeah, and I need more practice at both, so it's good.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So let's see what else we need to get to.
So your sister kind of sent you a text yesterday. That was really kind of interesting.
This was weird. It's so funny. Again, talk about like my family just not really getting what it is we do for the most part. She was really kind. I needed a refill of the EpiPen that I've had in case I ever were to have a allergic reaction to something with peanuts.
Peanut allergy.
Anaphylactic. My sister and I both have that issue. Well, this is how much I've let go of talk about letting go of fear in the past few years. I used to carry those EpiPens around, like 3 of them in my bag, made sure they were like totally up to date. Wouldn't go on a walk to the beach without them, just even 2 blocks away in case something were to happen or something weird. And it was just all a mind issue, you know?
You
a control thing.
Had such a challenge with that. Oh my goodness.
I would sit there at a restaurant and check my purse throughout the evening to make sure they were still in there. Like, where are they going to go? But that's how nervous I was. Oh, yeah.
You would check to see in case they fell out or something?
Well, I don't know. It was so messed up at one point that even for years, even when I knew I had just checked, like 5 minutes later, I'd check again. I'm sitting in a booth. They're not going to like go away out of my... Yeah, but that's how I was so messed up and cloudy in my thinking, you know?
Wow.
I mean, that's the kind of dis-ease I had going on in my head with this fear.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and you know, it's really neat that these EpiPens have all expired. I've been carrying around expired ones from 2011 and 2014. I think the last one expired February of 2014. So it's been way over a year. Uh-huh. And so I was asking my sister, because they have Kaiser and they get really good deals on things. I said, well, do you have another EpiPen refill for like $10? That'd be great. Cause these things are so expensive. I used to spend like upwards of $200 for one EpiPen. Right. And I've never had to use them. So it just feels like a waste, but you also want to be a little prepared in case there were a life-threatening emergency. Right. Which I don't plan on, by the way. So she texted me yesterday and she said, hey, I just want to let you know that Target is having this like urgent care type situation now where you, for things like stitches or real like urgent type things for cheap. Mm-hmm. Apparently you can go to Target and get some kind of cheap medical help. And you can also fill prescriptions there for like a fraction of the cost. So she says that I can get an EpiPen filled at a participating Target pharmacy for $35, which is awesome. But then she went on and on to say about how just in case, especially for a urinary tract infection or any kind of, gnarly sore throat or infection in the middle of the night, or if you need something like right away, that this was the best deal and like this is where you should go for all your prescriptions. And I'm thinking, first of all, I haven't taken a prescription besides a naturopathic one, that like a progesterone cream. I mean, it's called a quote prescription, but it's from a natural doctor. Yeah. I haven't taken a prescription for the last 5 years. More than that. Well, I was doing the birth control about 5 years ago. Oh, you stopped and that. And I stopped that because that was causing me a myriad of other problems. But isn't that crazy? Whoa. And I thought for you to be I get with the EpiPen situation, it was awesome. But at the same time, I'm like, oh my gosh, my family doesn't even know who I am. Like, I'm not taking, they're assuming that at one point you're going to need a prescription for something. And this is the way to go, and you go cheap. Right. And I'm thinking, my gosh, like go cheap, here I am. That's out of lack too. That's a lack mindset. Yeah. And here I am nebulizing silver and making liposomal vitamin C. And, I just wrote a blog the other day about treating my own, what I thought was a urinary tract infection coming up. And it's so neat. And like I wrote in that article, it gives you faith and motivation to keep going when you see what happens when you stay the course. Oh, yeah. And you see things work on a natural level. Yeah, yeah. Because it's all great. But when you're faced with something like, I hadn't had a urinary tract infection for years, but when I used to, it's like, oh my gosh, you get this inkling and you're like, crap, it's 5:00. I better call the doctor right now in order to run to the pharmacy to get this, because in the middle of the night, I'm going to be so miserable, and you panic. I feel like when you let go of the panic and if it's not life threatening, if you allow yourself to have a little bit of time to sit with nature, it really works. It does. And when I see it, then I'm like, right on, and it builds me up for the next thing I have. And so the next time you have that, if you ever do again, you got this experiential knowledge that works. Exactly. And you can. And so what were you saying about how your sister obviously doesn't know what we do, right? Well, she knows what we do, but I still think that my family
I don't think they think about really what we talk about. Or
no, because even on Christmas Eve, it was like we all go to a restaurant, and my dad's like, "Oh, you're not going to eat a hamburger? I thought you ate meat." I'm thinking, yeah, I eat meat. I don't eat this kind of meat, like where there's like 1,000 cows thrown into one thing. Who knows where this meat's coming from? Like, even if I eat meat, I'm picky about what kind of meat I eat.
Yeah,
they don't get it.
So I didn't know your dad said that to you. She said that, oh, I thought you would eat meat.
Yeah, he said that a couple weeks before. He said, we'll go somewhere where you guys can have an option because they serve hamburgers. And I'm thinking, that's not a hamburger. That to me is like ground death and fear and hormone.
Yeah, I mean...
That's a meth burger.
Oh,
it's a toxic soup burger.
Yeah, they're getting those from cows that are sick, that are...
I know.
Pumped full of hormones and genetically modified corn, standing around in their own filth.
I know.
With no ability to move, and then they're picked up and moved to a slaughterhouse and killed. And I mean, that's just, if you're going to eat meat, you got to do the grass-fed stuff. And so it's interesting that he didn't know. Like, that's wild.
Well, that's the thing. In my family, I still think that they think that this is all about, I mean, I joke about it, but it's like the food pyramid, like how much my dad's still in awe. I think that we haven't run out of people to talk to in the health industry. And it's like, we're just starting. I feel like that fear that I had was before I knew anything. When you first started, I thought, how is he going to keep going? Like, how after you tap out at 200 people, is there anybody new? And I'm realizing the doors, the rabbit trail just keeps going and going and going. Yeah.
Like, what's his name? The guy we interviewed recently, Dr. McCombs, like his whole thing, Jeff McCombs, his whole thing is candida.
Right.
So not only is his health, but he's narrowed down. He just does candida.
Right.
The whole entire career, lifetime, just on candida.
Right.
So, I mean, it's
whole life's work.
Yeah, there's so much to talk about,
Oh, I just thought of another one for 2015.
Oh, what is it?
I'm going to do the turpentine protocol.
Oh, me too. I'm going to
Sorry,
add that
when you said that, it reminded me of that, and I just added that to my list here, because that is something, even at Dr. Bergman's, they're suggesting I do, because I still feel like I might be dealing a little bit with this parasitic condition, and the natural parasite things I've done have actually really made my kidneys and different parts of my body hurt, and they're too harsh.
Right.
Oh, and it makes me nervous, but I'm so curious to try it out.
Yeah, the turpentine, I'm going to do that too.
Oh man, if we told our family we're drinking our pee and taking turpentine, they just...
I had pee for breakfast and a little turpentine to wash it down.
Along with some silver I made in a shot glass.
That's the thing. I mean, at some point, I mean, the listeners, you guys know what we're talking about because you guys do all this stuff too. But it's funny because you almost become like a private person to certain people. Like, you can't really divulge everything you do to everybody because people just can't take it. Like, they can't understand that you would do a coffee enema and drink your urine.
No.
Or take turpentine. Or
one of those things alone is enough to freak somebody out.
Yeah, it's just too much. I mean, people just can't figure it.
No.
Or why you'd want to do that. And so it's so it's cool to come together as a community of you guys listening, and for us to share all this stuff that we don't really share with our family and friends because, like I said, you kind of give to each person what they can take. But we know you guys can take it all.
We give it, we give it in spoonfuls, but we're just giving it to you guys in spoonfuls of turpentine.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way,
it
was interesting talking with my sister. I love her, and I'm not talking bad about her at all, but we were, I wrote another blog the other day about knowingly going into a bad situation by stepping in a nail salon. I was given a gift card.
Oh, right.
And it was for $50, and I hadn't been in a nail salon in years, and knowing what I know about how horrible they are, and watching documentaries and reading studies and just how much cancer these poor women and men that are manicurists get. It's terrible. But I thought, it's New Year's. My sister never gets to spend time without her kids. She would love to get pampered. She's not concerned about her health, and she's going to go anyway, so I might as well, take her and give her free mommy time out, And so we were there, and I feel like I knew it. I wrote about this. Anybody can read farther about why I continued to do it. But I went in there against my better judgment, got my nails done. And as we're sitting there, she's talking about how she feels this major sinus infection coming on. And she'd sounded pretty bad. And I said, oh, bummer I didn't bring my laser. And it's not the first time I'd mentioned the Q laser at all. I'd mentioned it. I had it on me when we went to a tree lot with the kids before Christmas. And she goes, wow, that thing's intense. I'm like, yeah. And she seemed interested. So I said, I wanted to plant the seed a little farther. And then I mentioned, oh, bummer, I don't have my laser. And she goes, I said, I used it the other day on this headache I had, and I put it on both cheeks, and then I did this thing with this light up my nose, like I mentioned earlier on the show.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, oh my gosh, that would just scare me. She goes, that sounds so scary. And I'm like, and then, the gal started talking to her about her nails, and it kind of moved on. But I thought, oh my gosh, that sounds, I mean, I get that she doesn't know. If you were to listen to an interview with Larry Lytle, though, I mean, just like entertain the idea that it could not be scary, or that if you know how to use a laser correctly, it could actually help you and not damage you or something.
Yeah.
But I thought, that sounds scary to you? What's scary to me is taking you, yourself, or any of your family members or your tiny children into a hospital, sticking out their arm and literally puncturing the skin and shooting something that you don't even know what's in it into your kid's arm or any part of their body.
Right.
It just...
As if that's not scary.
That's not scary, but we're so brainwashed. It's so backward and upside down.
We're using like a soft laser, low-level laser light that's been developed and is completely not harmful at all. If anything, it's incredible for restoring electrons to the DNA, which causes oxygen, and it changes the pH of the tissue, and it's just incredible for healing. But it's so weird. Yeah, like I don't understand the double, side of people where they will say something is scary, but then in the next breath they'll take sort of like with didn't they do the same thing with vaccinations with Molly and that? Like they what happened there? Do you remember that?
Well, they wanted to. I know that when Molly was born, they were, they're really worried about the parents not having their whooping cough things. It's like shoot everybody up right at the hospital right before the baby's born or right after. And it was so interesting to watch my brother-in-law just whip out his arm and right then and there just have them shoot him up with this stuff, and then, shoot Molly up with anything they felt like she needed to. It's just, I don't know.
I mean, it's so weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of on this, when you go on this journey, you kind of feel like you're alone unless you have someone going down this road with you.
Right, though?
Or if you have an online community of people you can connect with, you really do feel alone sometimes.
Yeah, and maybe that's why places like the Cuddle Shop are necessary,
Yeah.
I have to pee really bad.
Do you want to close out the show?
Oh, should we?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No. So I think that's about it, right? Do we have anything else to cover?
I had so much fun. I love the new year.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty exciting. Pretty stoked.
This is good. Thanks,
pretty
guys.
happy.
We're excited to see where this all goes.
Yeah, so we're going to be doing our Friday shows always, so make sure to check into our shows every week at 9 a.m. Pacific time at extremehealthradio.com/live if you want to hear the live show. And that way you can make some friends in the chat room and join the community and, connect with other people. So that would be really amazing. And also, if you guys could do us a big favor, we really could use your review on iTunes. If you have not left us a review there, if you go to extremehealthradio.com/iTunes, when you can, sign in, type Extreme Health Radio into the upper search bar, and leave us a rating, subscribe to our show on there, and a review. We'd greatly appreciate that a lot. And if you guys would like to support our show financially, you can always go through our Amazon link, bookmark that, and then you can also go to our store. Lots of great products in there, and we also accept donations. You can do that on the right-hand side of our website. So lots of really great places to support us, and we so appreciate everyone who has. Oh, my gosh. Without your support, we couldn't do this show.
No, and there's no stinking way that I'd even be able to consider it's going to be tight, but consider moving on from my job and just trusting that this is the process and where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah, exactly. So we thank all of you guys.
You guys are making it possible.
So much for all of your support, and we appreciate it so much. If there's ever anything we can do for you, please let us know. We'd love to help you out in any way we possibly can. And that's about it, right?
I think so. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We wish you guys a best start to January to 2015 in general.
What is January?
It is January, but the whole year, it's just beginning.
That's right.
We're fresh and renewed and restored and just really excited. Anytime you guys feel like sending us an email or anything, just telling us about your goals, we'd love to hear that, and it inspires me to keep going. So
exactly.
Yeah. Let us know what you try. If anybody tries turpentine and thinks I'm going to fall in love with it, please encourage me, because I need to
little
get some balls, grow a pair,
and
to put it not so politely.
Yeah. So we appreciate all you guys so much, so much. So that's about it, and we'll catch you on the next episode next Friday.
Amen. Love you guys.
Hey everybody, this is Josie, Justin's mum. Don't tell him, but I know he would absolutely be really happy if you would sign up to his free weekly newsletter. And don't forget to share this with all your friends. This is the buzzing bumblebee signing off.
Oh, so good.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you for listening to this episode.
It's time to go for now, but our mission does not end with this show.
Justin and Kate will be back with another interview packed full of ideas, discoveries, and unique ways to regain your health.
Head on over to extremehealthradio.com/subscribe and instantly download our free gift too that contains cutting-edge strategies to start making healthy lifestyle changes today.
No material on this blog is intended to suggest that you should not seek professional medical care. Always work with qualified medical professionals, even if you educate yourself in the field of live food, nutrition, and alternative medicine. I'm not a doctor, nor am I